Nollywood paradigm, reflections from an apologetic commercial Nollywood filmmaker. Mrs. Igwe will speak, and then the panelists will discuss, and then we'll throw it open to the floor. Thank you very much, Mrs. Igwe.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respect to everyone. My day, Tony. Bless you. I can see Gaboski. Oh, Uncle Mahmoud. All protocols. I can see that the musicians have taken off. Oh, see Ali Baba. You and I have issues. You know it now. I want to thank the organizers for inviting me. And I want to kill Chrissy Hidero for leaking my secrets, which is that I do not apologize about being a commercial filmmaker. You know, this issue came up when people started dividing. Oh, we make new film for aesthetics. And, you know, film is this and that. And I said, I make mine to make money. I've got bills to pay. My children are in school. And that's what I've done right from the days of Checkmate, because I come from a big business background and joined the industry. Where is Uche? Okay. I want to make something very clear. I said I will say it because in the past how many weeks, there's been an argument about whether I'm Nollywood or not. I'm in the fringe because I do not do guild activities anymore. Well, I can count at the last time that I'm trustee of a minimum of 3 of the guilds. And Nollywood is in Surulere. So if you are not in the guilds, then you are not Nollywood. And these are lovely pictures I stole from my friend, Opon. This one about the slippers. That one looks like Ibinabo's shoe, but it's not Ibinabo. But you can see that that's American, Hollywood, that's Indian. And the other one, I know what they think it is. But the good thing is that Britain is not there. China is not there. Europe is not there. Even France, that claim they created it, they are not there. And that's because that's what we are. They say we have created an industry based on shoestring, and this is part of what they use in Yabinos. I'm putting it up so that there's no avoidance of doubt. But of course, we know that Nollywood is a name by which the Nigerian motion picture industry has been promoted into the world in the past 15 years, coined by a Washington Post journalist. But the good thing about what they keep saying is that the industry thrives in its originality and non-conformist approach to filmmaking. Its practitioners are adapting to a wide range of economic challenges within the operating system. We didn't wait for, what's that thing they call it, reels. We didn't wait for cameras that are more expensive, or even, what's that thing called, the labs. We started making films, scoping with no NEPA. Like when people come to train, they say, the audio of Nigerian film industry is this and that. And I tell them, try to shoot with my neighbors. I better pass my neighbor. And tell me whether your whole training in Hollywood can match that particular one. Nollywood seeks to be inventive and innovative in its entire practice. So even if we don't know how to use the edit suites, we've been able to make fire come out of the mouth of people like Patrick Doyle. And we have put some people inside bottle, like RMD. So we've tried very much. Nollywood seeks to entertain a mass audience in search of more social-cultural relevant stories. That's what we do. We are not telling stories about explosions on bridges or the destruction of the White House. Try and shoot that you destroyed that rock and see where you will be. We tell social relevant stories like what the witchcraft neighbor has done. And if you think that is not true, why should the baby die and the witch cried in the night and we are not linking the two together? Of course, we have to have a reason. That's who we are. Even when a woman died at 88, somebody said, I read one of the comments, he said the enemies have done their worst. At 88, does she want to live forever? I mean, those are the things that bother Nigerians. And that's what we are telling. Industry defines technology impact on its operations. It appears to thrive best in rough economic times. That's what we've been able to do. That's the Nollywood I belong to. It's a global movement. It's not just in Nigeria, and definitely not in Surulere. So I don't care whether you are Kannywood, Asaba Wood, whatever wood you are, Yuga Wood, River Wood, Gollywood, insofar as you are there, you are Nollywood. And I definitely am Nollywood, and I do not apologize for it. That is the films we make. Now, a brief history, because he says my reflection. This argument has gone on. How did Nollywood start? I just want to say quickly that when government decided to ban the cinema screening in Nigeria, they did more harm than good. Because the people who were there, who encouraged the banning, were not able to fill up the gap. So the cinema culture died. And of course, the people who were trying to fill the gap did not know what Nigerian film should be. They were copying Indian, Chinese, anyhow. And most of them were trained by the French. And French believes only the avant-garde and the rich people should make films. So, okay, people like us who did not train in France, who were not allowed to make films. They did not understand the Nigerian audience at all. And of course, they failed to fill the gap. That was when TV started thriving. Of course, it was only NTA. They enjoyed monopoly funding, everything. And of course, a lot of Nigerian artwork moved on. Ripples, respect. Zebi, I'm greeting you. Ripples, Corporal at Dawn, Village Headmaster, Samanja, all of that. There was Nifetep, there was Nafes. It was bubbling. And of course, they stopped making films with this celluloid. They started making films with video because around that same time, video was born. But the crazy thing was that independents were born around that time. People started making soaps. That was in the days of Mirror in the Sun. We saw it. Ripples came on, Checkmate. A lot of talents grew. A lot of people wanted to make these things. And of course, they did not find, because there was monopoly in NTA, there was a problem. You could not just make a soap and then get there and get airtime. Definitely, sponsorship was also an issue. So people were making so many things. Around the same time, there was a revolution. The VHS came up. And of course, Nigerians all bought their video machines and all. There was nothing to watch apart from Sound of Music and Hey Ha of China and India and all of that. So, and of course, our electronic dealers, very ingenious, decided to put in things on those particular tapes. And one of such people was Kenneth Igwe of Living in Bondage. Of course, around that same time, another great thing happens. Nigerian television decided to ban their members from acting inside the films inside there. Most of them left. They imported Mexican soap, replaced things like Checkmate. Again, they did not understand the audience. The stage was set. Uche. Okay. Now, with a population that loved its own production, disenfranchised by NTA, a dejected, ill-motivated NTA workforce, a teeming population of people who wanted to express themselves on television, traders looking for how to sell their blank tapes, Kenneth Igwe put together Living in Bondage, using all these angles, and made that particular soap. Living in Bondage. And for me, that was when Nollywood, as presently constituted, was born. There's a lot of argument about people making film before they even Kenneth made film before that time. I will also argue that Mike Orihedimma was making films in Onitsha. Also, some films were being made in Edo State. But this particular movement, as we know, it was started from that time. That Living in Bondage took on both television stars, television producers, and made that first film, Living in Bondage. We gave birth to quite a number of things. People consumed Living in Bondage. Ken makes a lot of millions. People wanted a piece of the action. A lot of the so-called professionals stayed away. They had a lot of contempt. But the Dumota trader was selling his blank. Everybody became a filmmaker. Everybody. And like the word will say it, to God be the glory. Whether the film was good, bad, or ugly. What? You are not saying it. To God be the glory. That's how we used to end our film in those days. Okay, people embraced it. A lot of the professionals were very jealous. They were not interested. Government was indifferent. TV ignored it. They did not just know that they were battling for their audience. The Yoruba film industry, I must say, remained consistent. They were doing their traveling theater. They continued with it the way it was. Some professionals saw the future and joined in. Financial institutions did not feel it. Academics had disdain, but people invaded it. Overnight filmmakers showed up, and lines like, I has a script. I get a lot of those calls. Excuse me, I has a script. You know? And some traders say to some filmmakers, now my line is not working anymore. But na line, that is, put me in this film line. Everybody wanted to make a film, which is good. Because film is a language. You have something to say, do what? Say it. And even technology is helping. You can shoot films with your phone now. My sister got an expensive phone for her ordination. And I said, have you started using the phone? He said, no, but it's a fantastic camera. Of course, I joined. I already had a production company which was making soap. I'm making a lot of money by itself. I understood the mass market, that's my company, but I needed to learn film. It's aesthetics, it's business, it's technology, and it's future, which is part of what I'm reflecting today. We invested in training, a lot of it. We chased technology. Each one that came out, we bought. We developed our business model around Hollywood and Bollywood because we didn't think you needed to reinvent the wheel. They've done it already. We just follow what they do. We knew we had to talk about government involvement, policy, infrastructure, better distribution in order to reduce piracy. Industry involvement had to do with training, national gauge systems, international exposure, building structures for the future. Of course, that was total failure. And I put it on the step of both Gabowski, Mahmoud Ali Balogun, Justice Cecilia of blessed memory, and quite a number of people who failed to implement those things that we knew was necessary for this industry to thrive. And of course, ZEP, all of us. Of course, the TV producers made money outside sponsorship. That was the boom time. They could afford the better things of life. They became extremely popular and celebrated locally and internationally, courtesy of the press who were praising us out of heaven. Of course, we were paying for some of those praises. In one page, in one newspaper, you see, Amaka Igwe's Violated is the best film ever. Next on the column, Zebeji Rose Fatal Desire is out of this world. Hello? Of course, we ceased to develop our arts because we were busy making money, because the audience loved us. We took the market for granted. There was astronomical growth in profits for the electronic dealers. They wanted to make more money. In order, they settled their boys and set them free. So they all entered the market. There were more marketers than films being made. They wanted a larger share of the profits. They decided to protect their interests. And all the glory was going to the producer, so they too became filmmakers. And again, to God be the glory. That was the boom. But again, there was a ripple effect. Let's look at it seriously. We had 24 disc replicating plan, 150 cinemas all around. We have 119 TV stations now because there was deregulation. 8 exclusive Nollywood channels, courtesy of African Magic, High, Nolly, and all of them. Even the Chinese have created one right now. We have over 1 million retail points, although nobody knows where they are. Containers, barber shop, barrows, buses, anything, anybody is selling video on the streets. Fake, correct one, everyone. Advertising revenue for radio and TV. I remember the focus group that just happened, there was a heated argument between the marketers and I think it was Fidel Izuka. He said, Kenan Kwaru gave us figures for figurine. We asked the marketers, give us the figure for figurine in the market. They don't know. They can't know. They won't tell us. So contribution to gross domestic product of the nation, staple viewing all over Africa and in the diaspora. If you want to dispute it, go to Zanzibar and find out what they watch there, the remote parts of Africa. Of course, there's cultural impact, and I made bold to say that we affected the music industry. We were the ones that taught them how to make music on their keyboards. They started making music for us, Michael Liam and Co., for us to put on our, you know, when you hear, and you think somebody is about to die. We taught them all of that. So people became bold and started making music. They were singing. I mean, we made, for Rattlesnake, for instance, we made 3 songs. And they were good songs. You know, maybe not the one Chocolate City will buy, but people were buying it. And they too had their own boom because everybody was making music. There's creative section, social, cultural, so much. Local film festivals, awards, market, local actors are now brand ambassadors. They are making 15 million, some 70 million. They are not giving the producers, so we are busy fighting ourselves. The economy, of course, if you look at those figures, you know the economy has been affected. But I can tell you one thing, this is not reflected anywhere in government book. It's not. Because majority of this thing is in the hands of the pirate. If you doubt it, ask Fidel Izuka. When he was going to release his film, the pirates told him, we'll give you 1 week, and for that, pay me 500,000. And he paid, though, but within 3 days, they say your 1 week is up. And they sold it. Am I lying? I'm lying. Look at the industry players. These are the people we have affected with what we're doing. The industry has affected a number of people. If your name is not there, please put it there. We have affected your life one way or the other. How do I? Now, the reversal. We were busy celebrating the phenomenon. We forgot to stop and to build. Government came, started inviting people to Abuja. And when they said, take this for your trouble. So everybody wanted to go to Abuja. Because of take this for your trouble. Take this for coming. The press hype. Thanks for coming. The press hype, courtesy of the filmmakers. They started believing their own hype, even if they paid for it. The faithful audience is taken for granted. We now have film, Port 1 to 8. Asaba Wood, help you. Technology has changed. VCD came in. So the whole blank tape problem became an issue. Because now you cannot bring out tape. You have to pay for the replication while at bust. So when you advertise your film, you have money for only 5,000 copies. Pirates movie. No wonder we have 82% piracy in the film industry. Of course, foreign interest came. They were taking us all over the world to talk about the phenomenon. We are going, selling it to them, and taking thanks for coming. TV resurgence with the regulation. Of course, the tyranny of the associations, I told you. Instead of facing the issue of professionalism, the association became monsters as far as I'm concerned. They became the issues. I quarreled with Ejika when J.T. Tom West died. I said that guy had no business being on the road by one if there was proper association policy. He should have been in that place at that time. He had to have an ID card If you had an accident and the car somersaulted and whatever happened, there was nobody to sign a release, there was no insurance, there was no blood group, no information about the guy, no ID card. This is what a guild is supposed to be doing, not chasing after, sitting in a bag and doing what I don't understand. It's not supposed, that's not what a professional guild is supposed to be. The guild is different from an association. An association can do whatever they like, but the guild must protect the interests of its members. Make sure they have work, make sure they have training, and make sure they have welfare. That is your business. Whoever is talking any other thing, it should not be. How then do you know you're a member of a guild when you are not benefiting anything from what they are doing? Armchair business analysts, of course, showed up. The bank came. It became a quantity versus quality debate. What does it matter? That's what we are saying. Trading implications were ignored. Distribution implications were involved. Now, the state of the nation. Production is in decline. Most professionals, quote and unquote, have gone on to other business. Film festival like me, markets, yes, Bob TV, film politics. Somebody said he's a film politician. Politics over line. People are now selling things. I know some other people who have gone into the bend down business. And we have created schools, like me and Zebi. We are doing other businesses. The guilds and associations are snoring for want of what to say, because they don't understand what it's supposed to be. The government, of course, is intervening. Come to Abuja. We want to open a filling station. Come to Abuja. We want to do that. Come to Abuja. So that's how we are intervening. Research work is ongoing because, as at the last time, there are over 400 bibliographies on this Nollywood done by Igbo people. African Magic is prospering, creating more channels. Pirates from Asia have taken over. They are doing 5-in-1, 10-in-1 of Nigerian films. It's crazy. Distribution, of course, is inadequate. Television is booming once again. What do I think is the future? This our model is on the move and is traveling fast. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, all over the world, people are taking what we have created and doing it better. The movie industry, it is time for a linear growth. Let's forget the celebration. Let's grow. The growth should be driven by infrastructure required to service the existing market and the new markets which are developing. We need to restructure the guilds, or the guilds need to look at what other guilds elsewhere. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Check out what other guilds do for their people. Nollywood should be ready to make a quantum leap in filmmaking skills and techniques. We can't keep on making excuses about a man in red trousers who will enter this room, and when we see him coming out, he's in black. Or they shoot him in the head, he holds his chest. The bullet is there. Chinese people did it before. They are not doing it now. We can't use that as an excuse anymore. We have to grow. We should also look at using our power and skills for modern and historical documentation, education, cultural preservation, and dissemination of Nigeria. It is our duty. Whether we like it or not, what we are putting out is what the world thinks about Nigeria. When Charles and I traveled recently, somebody, when he said his name was Igwe, they started bowing to him. You are a prince or something. He said, no, that's my name. They say it's a lie. Igwe means prince. This is in faraway South Africa. And that's courtesy of Nollywood. And especially my people, the Igbo people, who don't understand that they are selling their culture, the good, the bad, and the ugly. New media is around. We should leverage the penetration and look at the impact that will have on this modern day miracle that is Nollywood. Uche, where thou? Okay, this is what I believe, because I'm a faith person. I believe that training is gaining ground, even if the old cargoes like myself do not know that. The new breed, they are coming. There are a lot in this room. The banks are funding. Half a yellow sun. How much was it again? Yeah? $8 million. Or is it naira? Pounds, okay. I hope they recoup it. Especially if they are trying to do it in Nigeria with less than 150 screens. Distribution is on the front burner. Everybody is talking distribution. At the Cora event, I remember I read it up and the people said every 3 billion that was given to Nollywood as grant should be given to people who are ready to fund distribution, cinemas, viewing centers, retail, and what have you. Government, I think, is beginning to listen because many people have told them outside Nigeria. So now they can hear because people have told them. If I hear one more of those type of things, when I was in Uganda, somebody said, Nollywood is fantastic. I will commit suicide. I've been hearing it for 5 years. Please do something. Technology favors the Nigerian filmmaker. It does, because we do it with anything we have. Good films still sell. I believe the future is Nollywood. Thank you very much.